Hello everyone. In just a few moments, I'm going to be having a conversation with Faye Cardell and Dot Jones, the two most decorated lady golfers at Willow Lake Golf Club. I sure hope you enjoyed the video. I'm honored today to be in the presence of Willow Lake royalty. Two living legends, two of the probably most famous lady golfers, in Metter and in the Coastal Empire. And it's my privilege right now to introduce to you Dot Jones and Faye Cardell. How you doing, ladies?
Good. Great.
Good to be here with you, Gregg.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming to my house, and this really means a lot to our club, our community, our town. We just love preserving history. So thank you so much for being here. This is my favorite part, everyone. What I like to do first is just announce the accomplishments that these lovely women have done in the area of golf. And I'm going to start with Dot Jones first. Dot Jones, you're a 12-time Willow Lake Ladies Club champion. You're a 9-time Willow Lake Senior Ladies Club champion. You're a 12-time Catherine Robinson Memorial Invitational champion, 3 times as an individual, and 9 times a team champion with Faye. And I would like to announce this, that you were actually the very first winner of the Catherine Robinson as an individual in 1975. That was the first year it was held. So you do have the distinction of being the very first winner. So congratulations with that. You're also the 1994 His and Her Championship winner with your husband, Mr. CB. And I've totaled all this up, and it comes to you have actually won 34 major golf championships at Willow Lake Golf Club. Congratulations. Faye Cardell, 18-time Ladies Club champion, 11-time Ladies Senior Club champion, 10-time Catherine Robinson Memorial Invitation champion. The first time you won it was with Delilah Collins, and then you won 9 more times with Miss Dot. You also are a 12-time His and Her champion with your husband, Mr. Leon. So that's a big congratulations right there. This is interesting here too. You are a 51-time major championship winner at Willow Lake Golf Club. That's pretty awesome. 51 major championships. I think I have your best score down as a 65. I think it's a 7 under par score.
Yes.
And you've had 5 hole-in-ones. And Miss Dot, how many hole-in-ones have you had? I didn't even think about asking you that. Do you remember how many you've had?
No.
Had several? Let's just say several. I know you've had several.
That's the reason she's my partner. She's such a good golfer.
I think you blend well together,
Yeah.
honestly. Okay, here's the main question I think everybody would like to know. Dot, starting with you. When did you start playing golf?
I was at Georgia Teachers College taking lessons, but then we didn't have a course to play on. We practiced there. And really I started in the 50s.
Okay.
CB and I, after Dr. Henry Sparks came here and introduced us, we played in Statesboro, Vidalia.
Okay, major.
Time to get going, and then the course was established.
Okay. I mean, you, I was talking to you earlier, you never played any kind of high school sports like basketball or
No.
softball, but yet you really turned into this really great golfer.
This just interested me because it's all about me
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah,
And
individual sport.
I love basketball and football, but
Right.
I knew I couldn't play either one. So that's what I could.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, Faye, when did you start playing golf?
Actually, I think I bought a certificate at Willow Lake when I was 33, mid-year, but I actually started trying to learn how to play when I was 34. Mike Welchel gave me the 3 starter points, the grip, the stance, and the swing, and a little lesson, and said go do it. So
Oh boy.
that was it.
Well, it's really amazing. It is a name from the past, Mike Welchel. I mean, we all loved Mike Welchel. I know that he passed away recently, and pretty devastating because he did have a big influence on many people at Willow Lake Golf Club. Of because he owned a golf course in Sanford, Florida, I believe. And it was old Donald Ross course. And he brought his knowledge from being in the golf business to Metter, Georgia. Who'd ever think that? That's really quite amazing when you think about it. Did he ever help you, Miss Dot, Mike Walcher? Give you any golf lessons?
No, I never had lessons. I knew people that he gave me.
Yeah.
But he loved Willow Lake.
Oh, yeah.
And he played a good bit of golf.
Absolutely.
This would have been his original hometown if he had had a choice. He
Yeah.
loved Metter.
Oh, he did love Metter so much. Yeah, we miss Mike so much. He just has so many friends here. Okay, I've got this question right here. At what point did you all team up as partners, and how did that all come about? How did you come about being partners? I mean, how did it all start?
Well, my partner then, it started off with Dean Cardell.
Okay.
And she loved the golf. She got into it, and she was good. So she was one of the best. And then I don't know. She lost, not as interested later the more she got. And then Faye come along, and I thought, that's.
Yeah, but she was kind of a beginner.
She was young. She was younger. She had a good swing. She did. And, yeah, you play golf just about every afternoon too, remember?
She practiced.
I wanted
Yeah.
to learn.
So I thought, not too old.
Oh boy. Well, I assume the feeling was mutual with you, Faye.
Yes, I always admired Dot being a winner, and anything that I ever participated in, which wasn't much, just basketball, but when I went to win and have a good time first of all, but you can also win and have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, she was so interested in the club and promoting.
Yeah.
She was just like one of the originals
Yeah.
that came in.
Yeah,
All of them were good though.
yeah,
I think helping keep score. My face showed up a lot out there,
Yeah.
and I got to know the people that were on the golf course playing and the visitors from out
Oh,
of
I
town.
gotcha. Yeah,
So
yeah. But it's amazing though. Just what a great team that you've made. But you gel so good. I know both of you are competitors, and I do want to let everybody know this. Now I know Dot didn't play high school sports, but Faye was a basketball player.
Yeah.
And in one game, Faye scored 51 points. And anyway, Faye's like one of the best putters ever. I'm telling you that. I've had the privilege of playing in pro lady tournaments with these lovely women, along with Berta Yeomans. It was called a 3-lady scramble, and of course the professionals would play with the women. But I've never seen anybody putt as good as you, Faye. I mean, it's just amazing how many putts you make. But you were telling me that you felt like you were putting good because of basketball. I mean, would you like to say anything about that?
kind of comparing it to a foul shot, touching field, distance,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know, it was just kind of a natural thing,
Yeah.
but that's what I kind of focused on.
Yeah.
And Faye's husband, Leon, he was so interested in golf, and he did a driving range for us.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah.
he was motivated.
Really big interest right there.
Mhm.
And you know, I do want to, and I want to get this in this video. So I think this is really, really important. The part about putting, and this is a good golf tip to go with the video. Okay, the thing about putting, I've known you Faye, for probably over 45 years total. Because I used to come to Metter when I was dating Jerry. And I can remember you and Leon being on that putting green, putting each other. And I tell all these junior golfers, if you want to be a great putter, let me give you the best golf tip. You would putt your husband. You would each go out on that putting green with one ball. And what would you do, Faye?
I would beat his putting green.
Yeah, but
No, it was competition, but he was competitive too. So it was like what we were trying to do was our very best all the time. Don't get slack.
you were putting the course though, weren't you? 1 to 2,
Yes.
2 to 3, 3
That's
to
right.
4. One ball going to whole different holes.
That's right.
And I really believe with all my heart, okay, if you practice that way on a putting green with one golf ball, and go hole to hole, it really helps develop a feel for distance control, correct?
Yes, that's the main thing. If you can't get it close to the hole, you'll never make it.
That's right.
They're for some of the longest putts sometimes.
Yeah.
Like that.
But that was a real secret, because even today, when you go out to the golf course, what do? You putt.
I putt.
You
and
putt
I
from
go
hole to
from
hole.
to hole.
With
Same.
one golf ball.
Lots of times right by myself for an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah, and I do want to say this, okay, I'm interjecting something here. Again, I want to add this. I see too many people go to the putting green with multiple balls. They get on a putting green with like 3 golf balls, and they're putting while they're carrying a conversation on with their playing partners. They're on a putting green. Then somebody else comes up and, hey Joe, how you doing? And they putt those 3 golf balls. I've never seen you do that.
You lose all focus.
You lose total focus.
All focus.
Total focus. One ball, hole to hole. And I'll tell you what I learned from all this. Because Leon was an incredible putter too.
Yes.
Like, this guy's a great putter. And in fact, I remember him making that birdie putt on hole number 17 when he won a club championship. Hole number 8 was the 17th hole. This breaking putt, and Leon gets up there, and he had an unusual stroke because he aimed his putter a little left, but he knew how to compensate for that and make that ball go in. And he made that putt when he was he was tied with Glenn at that particular time. So the putting part is really, really important. But what I was going to say is, one of the lessons I learned is when I was getting ready to play in a golf tournament, because watching you and Leon putt, I would take one golf ball and try to putt 18 holes in a row without 3-putting on a putting green. If I 3-putted one time, I had to start all over again.
Just starting again. That's
All
right.
over again.
I started off with the pendulum putt,
I remember that.
and I still got it. And you know, they banned it, but they did where you could go here.
That's right.
But it was so much better for me. I never understood why they banned it and let every shape and kind do it though.
Yeah. And you know something, Dot? I should have asked you to bring that putter.
Uh-huh.
I actually thought about it.
Mhm.
That's a collector's item.
I know it
Because
is.
I remember it was designed where you straddle it. It's like, and you go this way
That's
with it.
right.
And,
What's the difference? And then you got here and you tried to do
Yeah.
it. And
well, I think the USGA thought it was a little bit too easy because you
Yeah.
were facing the
Yeah.
hole a little bit. But now, give yourself credit. You were a good putter too.
I was with that pendulum putt.
Well,
And then when we changed, I couldn't putt like Faye. She was like this. I'd have to take that pendulum putter and try to get it.
yeah.
And I finally got the other one, but it really messed me up.
Well, it's changing styles
Uh-huh.
obviously does take time to adjust.
Yeah.
So when you're used to going like a croquet style or face on like this and going another way, it is a little bit different.
2, you've got to love your putter and have confidence. in
Oh,
that
that's
putter.
another thing. How long have you been using your putter?
That's what I was going to bring up. I'm still putting with one I've had for, gosh, I guess 30 years. In fact, I've hit so many golf balls with it. If you were to take the face of the putter, right in the center is a round place where you can see the ball bark
Yeah.
on the face of the putter. Joey Caney brought that to my attention.
You know who else has a little marker on a putter like that? Tiger Woods. That's from all the practicing.
Yes.
They wear that little center spot out. Pretty good question. All you people out there watching this video, if you're having trouble with your putting, check your putter out. See if you've got that little dot in the middle.
It's a ball imprint.
That's right, it is. That's because you use the same putter year after year. You have confidence with it, and you still putt well. I've
And it's
watched
an
you.
old tee line.
They've got every shape and size now.
Oh, I know they do.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for the secret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the secret's practice a little bit. Maybe it helps a
Yeah.
little bit. Okay, let's get to this right here. I love making this statement right here. I'm going to read a couple of sentences here. 1 year, y'all won 10 out of 11 golf tournaments that you entered, and then the 11th one you didn't win, you lost in a playoff.
3-way playoff.
That's unbelievable.
3-way. And it was in Eastman, Georgia. I remember that well.
I mean, that is unbelievable. You entered 11 tournaments, won 10 of them, and lost in the playoff. Do you remember who won that tournament? I mean, listen, I don't want to bring back bad memories, but what happened in the playoff?
I think it was the local girls.
Oh,
I'm teasing. Oh,
can you remember anything about the playoff? That's a long time ago.
one of them was the twosome from Swainsboro that was good. And I was trying to think, it might have been the home course two girls that played against us. I couldn't remember everybody's name because we'd
Yeah.
go different places and
I know.
I didn't really know.
Yeah, it's hard to
everybody
remember
personally.
everybody. Well, anyway, congratulations. That's like unbelievable. 10 or 11 tournaments, you win 10 out of 11, and almost win the 11th. I mean, that's just unbelievable. But I do want to read this too because it's amazing. As a team, you all won more than 60 golf tournaments within and outside the Coastal Empire. That is unbelievable. I mean, winning over 60 major tournaments at area clubs, their invitationals. I mean, what a team! I mean, that's just amazing.
We love the game. Our kids played it. We were all involved. I just think it was in Willow Lake.
Yeah.
We
It's-
could practice every day.
Yeah.
And we had the best pro. He's played with these women. We'd go off and play.
Yeah.
He would leave his shoes at home and forget them.
We had some competition.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about that. Might as well do it. Let's get rid of that right now. Okay. I remember going to Vidalia.
Yes.
Okay, playing with you all in a pro lady tournament. I popped my trunk in my car, put my golf shoes on, and I realized I had two right shoes. Somehow my white shoes got mixed up, so I remember having to play in my tennis shoes. And boy, you really gave me a lot of grief about that. I remember y'all laughing about that the whole
We
time
still
we're playing.
remember that story.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! But you know what's more incredible about that day that I had two right shoes. I mean, that was really kind of funny. But obviously it was a joy playing with y'all. I mean, really, it's not just y'all, but all the women. You know, I think we usually have like 9 women that would go. That I'd alternate playing with the different groups. But again, I have to say this. I'll never forget that last hole at Vidalia Country Club. I think it was actually the last time that we played together in a pro lady tournament. And you hit somebody, I'm not sure who it was. It could have been Dot Bird or Faye, I don't know. But I remember somebody hit their tee shot on the very back of that green. It's number 18 at Vidalia Country Club. Now it's called, anyway, it's Hawks Point, I think it's called. And you're on the very back. I remember Bert always seen the putt first, I believe. Then Dot, you were putting. And this is like about a 70-foot putt. Downhill, side hill. The pin's on the very front of the green. You're putting from the back. And Faye, you got up over there and you knocked it in. You remember that? And we won the tournament.
That won it.
It won it, that putt. I mean, it's like a 70-foot side hill, downhill putt right in the middle of the hole.
No pressure.
No pressure.
She's a good putter. I'll
No,
tell you
she's a
that.
That was luck. I
Yes,
guarantee
you
you.
are.
Well, here's the fact of the matter is I play golf all over the state. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I played with some of the finest players. And Faye, honestly, you're probably the best putter I've ever putted. And Dot's agreeing with that. I
We've
mean,
had some good people competing too.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were
That's right.
good golfers.
Okay, here I'm going to read this now. Okay, the events that you played in. Okay, I'm just going to read this. These tournaments, these invitations you played in, were held in Matter, Vidalia, Claxton, Douglas, Jessup, Dublin, Hinesville, Baxley, Statesboro, Eastman, Black Creek, Swainsboro, and Savannah.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, all these ladies
Yeah.
events that y'all played in back then. I mean, and I will say this. Let's talk about the Catherine Robinson just for a second. Okay, just for a second. That was like the premier ladies tournament. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the lunch that y'all had, the way everything was set up for that tournament.
Even competition.
Yeah, the competition. I mean, that was really probably the premier event that you played in. But now let's talk about this. You've had some great competition over the years, and I was part of that. I was helping run these golf tournaments, and these women would come to Matter, and they would shoot some low scores.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like you always were able to edge them out a little bit. And these women, I just want to name some of the women that came to Matter. June Adams and her partner Barbara Harris. June Adams would play with Dot Peppers every once in a while. Then you had Laura Sayre and Catherine Robinson, Jean Corsi and Sharon Mason, Thelma Kirkpatrick and Sharon Mason, Tess Fordham and Bertie Yeomans, Sherry Crawford and Sydney Hicks, really great team. Tess Fordham and Alex Hendricks, just another incredible team. Did you ever have any rivalries? Like, was there a team that I just read that stands out, that motivated you even more to maybe win, or you just knew it was going to be between you and that team? What team was that?
Catherine White and Laura Sear. Laura was very competitive, and she could kill the ball. Nobody could hardly hit as long as she could, but you got to do more than just hit it long. But she was very competent golfer. She could get out there and do some of it all, but she liked to brag too much.
I remember June Adams. The tournament down there, we spent the night and played. What was the large lady's name? She was June's partner. They were good. She was
really good team.
Strong, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay, that was it.
they were a good team.
Well, okay, let me say this about June Adams. June Adams, I'm not sure if you know this or not, but it was in the Metro Advertiser. She wrote a book.
She's won the most tournaments of anybody, June,
Yeah.
in Dublin.
Yeah, she was.
She's just recently written a book.
That's what I heard.
Faye and I are in it,
That's-
so I got to get one.
That's right. That's what I was going to tell you. That.
She's not able to play now. Her during Christmas but
Yeah.
she had a stroke and she played.
I thought that was pretty.
She
really,
was so good.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
She was our competitor in
That's
Dublin.
right. That's right. Yeah, because if you went to different clubs, there were different women that you knew you
Yeah.
had to compete against, and absolutely, June Adams was one of the premier
She
players,
was great.
and she won tournaments in the Macon area too.
She won a lot of state tournaments where
There
they
you go.
competed.
That's right.
Before I even started playing, she graduated from college. Bruce Parker was my sister. So I didn't know her then, but found that out later. But she was competitive, very competitive.
She was a good golfer.
Well, you know, and I'm not trying to embarrass you all by saying this, but that just shows what a great team you were, and what great players each one of you were, to be able to compete and to win against June Adams and some of these women that she played with and brought to these golf tournaments. I mean, I don't think the people in Meta realize really just what an accomplishment it was for you to win all these golf tournaments. It's pretty awesome.
I think us having Willow Lake right here in the city of Meta, most of it, and we could go out and play every afternoon.
Yeah.
And don't you think that had so much to do with it? You had where so many people are not got something right close to them to practice like we did. I don't know.
The people that are members, I'm talking back 30 years ago, the original members, and forward 25 years or so, they were a different class of people than even what's coming out there now to start to play and all. Things are changing. But still, I think that was the best of times for Willow Lake.
Yeah. Well, you know, I will, let's kind of be fair about this. I'll tell you, I think one reason what the situation is. The members back then had a vested interest in Willow Lake. They owned Willow Lake. It was their baby. I mean, just think about it. I mean, just think about how the members out there. I'd be willing to bet if you look at the original list of charter members, I would say probably 3/4 of them weren't even golfers. You know, I mean, there was. I know the house I'm living in right here, belonged to my Jerry's grandmother. And she was a member. She wasn't a golfer. She ran a tobacco warehouse in town. My father-in-law wasn't a golfer. He was a tobacco farmer. They were members out there.
Greg, don't you think now they're just playing, people coming from there, playing out there now, there's an interest. I don't know if it's necessary the club, but it's available.
Let me tell you something. Willow Lake offers a great product.
I know it.
The golf course is beautiful. I think people love coming to Meadow because they're treated with respect. They enjoy being around the people that work out there right now, especially. And I just think that Willow Lake has a lot to offer. I mean, just think about it. Now, just think about when the club started. Okay, then we started the new 9. Okay, again, it's incredible. Then we have the driving range, practice facility built.
That's right.
I mean, all this has been done to promote Willow Lake, promote golf, and bring people to Metter.
Yeah.
So it has changed, you know, because I would say right now, I was talking to Gregg Cardell recently about it. They figured out that probably about 80% of the business out there right now, what you're talking about, is from non-members.
And you go out there and the carts are all rented, you got to wait for someone to come in. I mean, people are using it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how great it is. I mean, it really is, the facility.
Do you think there's more interest in golf now than it used to be?
Absolutely, because COVID, because it's an outdoor sport,
I know it.
has brought more people to golf. Yeah, the Willow Lake has grown tremendously over the past few years because of, unfortunately, COVID has had an impact on the golf business. But it's not just Willow Lake. It's all golf courses are just booming right now.
Good.
It's just amazing. So
That's great.
The facility, the driving range, has got a lot of people coming that wants to learn how to play, and using that is, it's accessible.
Yeah, that's right. Now this is kind of a little bit of a carryover question in a way, but what made, I understand like you were a good putter and all this other stuff going on, but what made your team so special? What do you think, what was it that carried into your ability to win over 60 major championships as a team? Is there something, what was it about your team that made it so special?
I don't know. They and I were always real competitive, and they always had a competitive team too. So I don't know. It was just golf. I guess they were interested in it, and you take it. Most ladies don't play football. They don't play baseball. But you can play golf. So I don't know. What do you think?
Well,
you won a lot of tournaments. There's something, you're gelling in some way here. You've got a way to motivate each other somehow.
Well, besides Dot and I liking to play golf, Lee and CB also like to play golf. We played many times. Me and Dot would just take them on and for supper, and we won most suppers.
I know that. I remember.
It was funny because even when we were just out there for a fun day, it was still competitive.
Yeah.
And it carried over to every time we went and played, it was competitive.
Yeah.
It wasn't just to go out there and laugh and cut up and hit it wherever and don't care. I mean, you always, it seemed like every shot you hit, you wanted it to be a good shot.
Yeah. Well, obviously you enjoy being with each other, being in the company of one another, obviously.
And the exercise is so good for you.
Yeah. Do you think part of it, of your success, came from both of you have such a positive attitude? I mean, you're positive in all areas of life. I mean, I'm going to be talking about some things, but having a positive attitude also. Going to those tournaments, like for example, expecting to win. I mean, the competitiveness. That goes right back to the basketball. How many games in a row did your team win in high school basketball?
33 out of 33.
33 out of 33. That's almost like 11 out of 11.
That's a school record also.
That's like what team does that? Well, I think it is. It's like you expect to win. I mean, it's like Dot. You were the first winner of the Catherine Robinson Invitational Tournament in 1975, but once you win, don't you expect to win again and again and again and again?
You tried. That's about all you do.
Well, you did a pretty good job. You did a pretty good job doing it. All right, let's get to this one then. Okay. I love this question here. What effect, I guess, or what influence, let's say, did your husbands have in your golf game? Dot, I'm going to start with you. What influence did CB have in your golf game? Now, he is the first Willow Lake men's club champion. He's the first men's club champion.
I don't know. I think when the bug hit him, see, they here they had hunted and all that. That was his sport.
That's right.
But I don't know. It just hit him. So.
But then you started playing golf because he started playing golf.
Yeah, we both. We just loved the game, is all I know, and it's an individual thing, but it's a team too.
Well, he was an athlete. He played football in high school.
He did, yeah.
And
senior year though, they didn't have much football here then. That was way back in the dark ages.
Yeah.
But anyway, they got a good one now. But,
Well, you know, the encouragement that CB gave to you,
mm-hmm.
and also helping support you, both of you, both husbands,
Yeah,
supported you playing all these golf tournaments too.
Mhm.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I thought that, and they're proud of the successes that you have. Faye, how about you? I mean, again, Mr. Leon, man, I'll tell you, he's another legendary golfer out there, just like CB. What influence did he have with you and your
Well,
life as a golfer?
he was a good golfer. I mean, he could shoot par golf, and he participated in a lot of local tournaments. Well, about the time we got married, he was playing, and he was always in championship
Yeah.
flight. He never
Yeah.
won a lot of the big tournaments, but he was competitive and played in
Right.
championship flight. But he was a good athlete. He was strong.
Right.
Liam was a strong person,
Yeah.
and of course that don't make you hit the ball further. But other sports like football and stuff, they said he could throw the football further than anybody.
I heard that they could say he could almost throw the length of a football field.
Yeah.
That's how far he could, throw a
But, you know,
football.
you got to have some finesse with golf.
Yeah.
But you know, he was always encouraging me, and when we got married, he said, "I'll pick you for my team every time." And so I said, "Go play with the men." He said, "No, come on, I'm gonna play with you today."
Yeah.
And we did, and so I got a lot of my learning, if you can call it that, from things he told me, little things he told me, which was homemade golf in his mind, you know.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah.
It
But
worked.
I do remember one statement he made to you that helped you become such, I think, a great putter. What did he say about your putting one time? Do you remember?
That was the worst putt you'd ever seen.
Well, say that one more time. Say it a little louder. Speak with him.
He said I was the sorriest putter he ever saw.
Little did he know that motivated you.
My silent mind said, "You shall eat those words." But he complimented me many times. He was doing that because he knows I would take a dare and go on it.
Well, you did.
But I'll tell you, he wouldn't let anybody else say anything.
No, of course
Leon was a strong athlete, though, physically,
Yeah.
and he was interested in everything,
Yeah.
and he helped promote it all. But he was a good golfer
Yeah.
too.
That's right. Well, I think really what you were saying when the previous question, you know, well, it's actually this question, but you know, the influence that they had, I just think it's wonderful. All the years, all the days that y'all played together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, I can still remember, you know, okay, CB and Dot, you know, Leon and Faye, loading up the golf cart, you know, and off you'd go, and you'd have these great matches out on the golf course for supper, like you were talking about, and obviously you won most of the time. The guys had to cook or go buy supper for y'all, you know, but I think that's part of it right there, just how much they enjoyed watching you enjoy the game.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of it.
Well, both of Leon and CD were competitive,
Yeah.
whether it was sports or life.
Yeah.
They were competitive in
Yeah.
life, and so I think that made them, you know, when they carried through. Whenever Leon criticized me, and he did, I know he did a lot, but it was always to try to help me,
Yeah.
and it wasn't to ever make me feel
That's right.
shamed or
That's
anything
right.
else. But if he saw something I was doing wrong, correct it and try it
Yeah.
and see if it works. And
That's right.
you know, and he would always say, and this always amazed me, "I'd pick you over any other golfer out here."
Oh yeah. That's
And he
encouraging.
did.
That's encouraging.
We couldn't wait for 5 o'clock for the tax office to close. See, he was taxing Mr.
That's
Big.
right.
Well, we could go,
Yeah.
and they'd be out there.
Yeah.
We put quarter in the mailbox
I
to pay
remember
3
that.
holes.
Remember everybody talking about that? Oh boy.
Anyway.
What great memories.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, what great memories.
Yeah.
Boy. Don, I do want to ask you this question here. You are an original member of Willow Lake Golf Club.
Mm-hmm.
And you've always been so involved in preserving the club history.
Breaking
Of our
yards, cutting.
But what drives you, even to this day, you know, preserving the club history at Willow Lake Golf Club? I mean, you've done so much. I mean, I saw that you got a little notepad in there with all how the club started and things like that, and you're so much of the history. But what drives you to try to keep preserving all this history?
I don't really know. It's just energy, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. You could say any particular things. We just, something needed to be done back then, and if we could do it, the ladies, we would do it, and they would all help.
Yeah.
And the men the same way, to keep from hiring somebody
Yeah.
to come in and do it, because we
Yeah.
needed
Right.
the money to finish building it. So
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you were involved though, starting the club. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to I just want to talk about this for a minute.
Yeah.
You and Helen Sparks
Yeah.
actually
Yeah,
sold.
Helen. She.
But you both sold, I guess, how many? A lot of the original charter memberships. So I could see where you'd be involved.
Yeah. Well, I think
In the-
playing golf before we got it going, you learn people, you
Yeah.
know them, and you invite them.
Yeah.
And when they came, they loved it. The golf
Yeah.
tournaments, we had good food.
That's
and
right.
Good clubs.
That's
So,
exactly
you know,
right.
I don't know exactly, but it just a
Well,
combination thing. What you
Well,
think?
too, on Saturday nights, used to, years back when it first started, they would have a big shindig and everybody danced and had a
yeah.
really big party on Saturday
Yeah.
night.
Social
Kind of
part
got
of it.
away from that
Yeah.
in the last few years.
Yeah.
But people from Savannah and all around would come,
Oh yeah. I
and their
remember
wives
that.
would come on sit on the porch and rock while the
Yeah.
guys finished up golf
Yeah.
and go party.
Yeah. So that's all part of the
It's
history.
a social.
Yeah. That's all part of the history and remembering that and
Yeah.
and actually saying that right now in this video because that played a big part in the success of our club.
Yeah. And you learn people. So many places we'd go, we'd spend the night.
That's right.
So we could play a practice game
Right.
before the others,
That's right.
and you meet people. And,
That's right.
you know.
That's all part of it. All right, Faye.
It was a
here's-
joint thing. It's all.
I know. Well, you've done a great job preserving the history because I looked at your notes. I know you and Harvey Snell were working on a book.
Yeah.
You know, and I know you're still working on that. So
Yeah.
this is a work in progress. You haven't stopped. That's why I asked you that question. You're really driven, you know, to really make sure that future generations of our club realize, you know, how it started, where we came from, and where we are right now. We a lot of times people forget about that, how everything gets started. You know, and there was a lot of commitment back in those days.
That was a priority for them.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
mean, they wasn't going to put it down.
No.
Let it
No, absolutely
Let
not.
it
Absolutely not. All right, Faye, here we go. For over 44 years, you helped me keep score, do pairings, do tee times for all of our major golf tournaments at Willow Lake Golf Club. This was an incredible commitment because we have, you know, 7 or 8 major golf tournaments here out there at Willow Lake, and you've always, you know, been there to help out with all of this, always with all these. And I'm just kind of wondering again, what motivated you to be our scorekeeper for all these years? I mean, for over 44 years you did that. What motivated you? What was it about scorekeeping that, I mean, that just kept you going and going?
Well, I watched a few people try to help, and I figured I could do a better job than what I was watching. And you saw some of the same things.
Well, I hate to admit it, you're right.
So I thought, why not me and Gregg get back there in that back room and have it done in 30 minutes, or we invite company and have it 2 hours later.
Yeah.
No, really. I don't know, I just felt Liam was always involved with it, and he was busy, and, you know, anything, to me, that was a pleasure. It was
Yeah.
not a job.
Yeah.
And I met so many people, Gregg. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's just like
Yeah.
those long drivers that came
Oh,
from California
yeah.
and all over. And
Yeah.
when Gary had the long driving competition here for 19 years in
That's
there.
right.
And, you know, I've met a lot of people that are not movie stars and all that, but they're high-class people that were good golfers and loved coming to meet them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that says it all right there. You know, I think if you ask most golfers, they'll say the same thing. You know, golf is, you hear the term golf is more than a game. You know, the friendships that we've made over all these years. It's like all those women that I mentioned, you know, that you competed against. When the day's over, y'all are friends. You know, I mean, you can whip up on them, but you're still friends when they get over. But no, I'm just saying that that's how golf is. It's really a very special game for exactly what you're talking about right there.
Well, a lot of people didn't want to commit the time to, you know, wait and eat supper later on or whatever on Saturday night, because sometimes it would take, if we had a problem with cards or something, it would take longer.
Yeah.
But I don't remember but one or two times that it was really frustrating, and that's when we had some people wanting to help us we didn't need.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Let's not talk about that.
we won't go there. We won't call names, but no, really,
I understand.
I counted it a blessing to be able to help do that, and I thought that the way we worked it,
Yeah.
it fit our schedule really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the fact is, most people expected to see you at the scoreboard too, Faye. I mean, you were part of the tournament, just like playing in these major tournaments. This team was expected to be there.
And Faye knew most of them. I mean, Faye knew them all. They knew, and they knew the score was right, and all that. She was really good.
Well, people would come, and you can tell that I don't like to talk, but if people want a conversation, just start it, and we'll go. I love being around people, and the people that came to play golf mostly were really good, common people that had a good time, and they appreciated Willow Lake.
That's right.
And their fun time they had there at Willow Lake.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Well, that says it all right there, really. The fun time at Willow Lake. I mean, people involved. I mean, so proud of our golf course. I mean, because when you think about Willow Lake Golf Club, I don't think there's another small town in the state of Georgia, honestly, that could have pulled off what was pulled off. In fact, I'm going to say this. I know this is about y'all, about your championships you've won, but I got to say something about CB. I was there at that Men's Golf Association meeting when your husband stood up when that 100 acres was available, or adjoining our existing golf course, and he stood up and he said, "Boys, if we're going to have an 18-hole golf course, we need to buy that property now." I remember that. And I'm going to tell you, CB being on board, having Leon being on board, your husband, having the Ladies Golf Association being on board. I mean, again, what an effort. I've got this question. Okay, and Faye, I'm not sure you really knew Catherine Robinson. Did you know her at all, Catherine Robinson?
I probably saw her once or twice at City Hall maybe, but I was never around her at all.
Yeah, okay. So Dot, you're going to probably have to help out with this question, okay? The Catherine Robinson Memorial Golf Tournament is not only the premier golf tournament at Willow Lake Golf Club, is probably the premier golf tournament throughout this whole coastal empire. And the reason I'm saying that is because just watching the commitment, again, with the Women's Golf Association, Martha Kennedy always being out there, greeting people at that little table outside, the little goodie bags that all the women would get, the fantastic lunch that was served, just how all the women that would come just felt at home because y'all treated them so great. It was so gracious. Just the whole tournament was just first class. I mean, without a question. And Dot, here's a question that I want to ask you. Okay, this absolutely was the most wonderful event ever. I mean, the Catherine Robinson Memorial Golf Tournament. But could you please share with everybody what you know about Catherine Robinson? Catherine Robinson passed away, and I never met her. Her legacy lives on with her children that have all turned out to be golfers. I know that Gail and Kathy come over, and they're a big part of their mother's tournament. The children, the boys are involved in it. But really, Gail and Kathy have taken over. But would you share with everybody what you remember most about Catherine Robinson?
Well, the Catherine was my backyard neighbor, her and Dr. Robinson. And she played golf, they played golf. Dr. Robinson and Dr. Pence, we took their lawnmower and mowed the 3 holes.
Oh my
But
goodness.
Catherine was one of the original owners. Dr. Robinson, her husband. And she participated in everything. She was city mayor of Matter. And she just participated and gave and donated and just participated in the golf, everything.
Yeah.
She
So
was,
I remember somebody telling me that she used to write articles for the Matter Advertiser or the Matter Morning, the newspaper back then. I forget exactly the name of it. But I heard that she actually would write articles like everything that was happening out at Willow Lake, whether it was social, golf, different things like that. You know.
I just knew everything about her, I guess, as a friend and a neighbor and a golfer and all, but
Yeah.
there's just different things that she did for
Yeah.
the county, the
Yeah.
city, for the
Yeah.
club.
Yeah.
And,
That was amazing though. She was the first, like you were saying, like the 1st
Mm-hmm.
woman mayor of our town. I mean, that shows how much she was loved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you have that seat, you're the mayor of Metter. I mean,
She was first lady mayor.
that's right. I mean, and people loved her.
Uh-huh,
You know,
they
for
did.
putting her in that position right there. So,
She was good.
you know, so anyway, it's just wonderful thinking about all the, you know, the great ladies that have won that event. I mean, y'all have won that several times, and anyway, it's just one of the.
We just
Great
had
events.
so many people back then that just, like it was not one person deal, it was a community.
A family
Yeah.
that was working together, really.
Yeah. Well, I do want to mention this. I've heard a lot of great golf stories in my lifetime. I really have. I mean, I've been in golf for so many years. I mean, personally, I have some pretty neat golf stories. I can think back things that have happened in my career. I can think of friends of mine have had incredible stories. But I don't think I've ever in my lifetime heard a better golf story than the one that both of you share when you won that golf tournament in Vidalia. And I'm just going to kind of set the scene a little bit here. And then Faye, I guess I'll let you take over a little bit. Dot, you can kind of add into this. But this is how it goes. You're playing in the Vidalia Ladies Vidalia Invitational. Do you remember the name of that tournament by any chance?
Walter,
Played in so many.
what was her name? Something Walters. Pauline Walters.
It was a memorial tournament for a woman.
Pauline Walters, and she was a golfer originally from Vidalia. I think who it was named after.
Okay.
I believe. Now Dot would know more about that because
Yeah.
that was before I came.
Okay, so you're playing in this golf tournament, Pauline Waters, and you always get paired with the top players because you're always in a championship fight, and you do that too. That's the right thing to do. You get paired with the other team that most likely is going to give you the most competition. And they're doing the same thing, pairing their best team with y'all. Okay, so you get done 9 holes over there, and it's nip and tuck. It's pretty much tied. Okay, so you come to the 10th hole, and Faye, why don't you take over the story from there? Okay, this is an amazing golf story. I've never heard anything like this in my life. So start off right now. You're on the 10th hole. What happens on the 10th hole with the other team?
Well, I'll describe the 10th hole. It's very short. It's like 97 or 8 yards or something across a little bit of water there. And it's an elevated green, and it's got undulations on the putting green and putting surface. And so anyway, the best thing to do is just try to hit the center of the green because it's going somewhere from there. But anyway, we hit, and they hit. I think at that point in time we were leading, but they hit and had a hole in one. So they took the lead from there. And so number 10, and then number 11 was a long par 5 that went down kind of adjacent to it, but the opposite direction. And so we just hung tight, same scores. And so they still led us one stroke all the way around. And we came to number 18. And in my mind, that was the worst hole ever to play. That you got to do something.
It's a par 3, long, bunkered.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's an elevator from back to front.
Yeah.
And both sides of the front of the green have sand traps, and you have about a 15 to
Big
20
sand
foot
traps,
opening. And if you don't go in that opening, you got to fly it on the green. And if you fly it on the green, if you hit it right or left, it's going that way because of the slants.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a deep green. But anyway, those two women were leading us by 1 stroke.
Going into the last hole.
Going to number 18. We just kept playing, nip and tuck, couldn't gain a stroke on them. They were hanging tight. And so anyway, I think Dot probably hit first. She normally hit
Yeah,
first. And I
that's
hit
right.
second.
Yeah.
And so she hit, and I got up there, and one of them said, "Well, the only way you're going to win today is if you have a hole in one." And that hit me like a brick bat on top of the head. Thank you, dear. But anyway, got up there, and I took my club out, and it was 137 yards, elevated green, back to front. I can just see it in my mind right now. It was the devil looking back at me. But I got up there and I thought, well, here goes. I'll just do my best swing I've got. So I got up there, and I don't know if it was the best or not, but it was a hole-in-one, and everybody liked to fainted. But that made the Vidalia Advance first page in the paper, and big ride out, and that was the 5th hole-in-one I had, and it was a great story. I love that story.
I love it just as much as you do.
You talk
I
about
mean-
pressure.
I mean,
I put pressure on her and she put pressure on me. We didn't relax.
No, now look here. We knew the other one's going to pick up what they were doing. And
yeah, but you know what though? I mean, I just want you to understand something. You're playing this golf tournament. You're on the back 9. The group you're playing against gets a hole-in-one on the par 3 10th hole, and then you get to the 18th hole, and you hear one of your competitors actually say the only way you're going to beat us now if you get a hole-in-one, and you make a hole-in-one. Is there any other better golf story than that? And that,
I dare you.
yeah, if somebody has a better one, please let me know. I want to hear about it. But congratulations on that win. But that is absolutely, I believe, one of the most
Yeah.
incredible golf stories I've ever heard.
Well, number 9 in Vidalia was very kind to me, that long putt.
Well, yeah, I was thinking about that.
One, you know, I don't know why I hated that hole. I ought to just write it down in my skull.
And you
somewhere.
wonder why people play golf. Under pressure.
I know.
We did play under a lot. No, Dot and I played, and we were a strong competitive team.
Yeah.
She was very good
I
when
know.
I was learning.
Yeah.
But I would always pick her for a partner. She
Yeah, of
never
course.
gave up till the last putt, the hole-in-one went in.
Well,
But anyway, we had a great
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
well, and again, I've had the honor of playing with both of you, along with Berta. On occasion, there might be another, but mostly it was Berta, I think, played on your team.
Yeah.
But I can't tell how much I enjoyed being your partners, or your partner, you know,
me too.
because I mean, you know, just watching y'all gel together and play, and you always went there to win. I mean, you didn't settle for second place. I mean, it was just so much fun. I just enjoyed being with y'all.
And now you know why I never change partners.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Well, you know,
It's good for youth and all. I hope they continue playing.
well, it was really interesting because I have here like some of my final comments about this interview, and first thing is I can't thank both of you enough for the service and commitment, along with the great golf, that you have given the Willow Lake Golf Club for all these years. I mean, it's just truly amazing, and I just want to thank you for the honor and notoriety that you have given to Willow Lake Golf Club over all these years. I mean, winning 60 golf tournaments, and when they announced the winner, Faye Cardell and Dot Jones from Willow Lake Golf Club in Metter, Georgia. I mean, that really goes a long way. I mean, all these women that you played against, they know where Willow Lake is. They know where Metter is, not just from playing here, because of all the tournaments that you won. And the other thing, too, I want to thank you for is I just want to thank both of you for inspiring all the junior golfers that have come through Willow Lake Golf Club, especially the girls. I mean, when these girls see your name winning all these golf tournaments, and they want to be like Dot Jones, they want to be like Faye Cardell, and just think of all the fine young women that have come through Willow Lake over the years. I mean, several of them have gotten college scholarships, University of Georgia, down to coastal Georgia, you know, up in South Carolina. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But thank you so much for your inspiration to the junior golf program at Willow Lake Golf Club. And probably most importantly is I just want to thank you for your friendship, your loyal friendship to me, to the membership of Willow Lake Golf Club. I mean, that goes a long way. I mean, just your presence out there and being friendly to everybody. And I mean, what more can be said about that? It goes right back, Faye, what you were talking about. In fact, I have something here that I want to read. Okay, and this really kind of says it all. This is a quote from you, Faye. Okay, this is a quote from you talking about Willow Lake Golf Club. and pretty much your involvement with the club. And Dot, I'm sure you agree with this. Absolutely. Because you've talked about this. Okay, this is a quote from Faye. Had so much fun making lots of friends from out of town who came to play golf at Willow Lake. In quotes, for the love of the game.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's where it's at.
Whew.
If you really love golf
Whew.
and love the game, it's in your heart.
And it's still a miracle, isn't it?
It's
In a little town of how many were there? All these people that came by, and the ones that gave $500 are payable to the bank at $100 a year for 5 years.
I know.
And it was tough times back then.
I know. It's
And it still
unbelievable.
is.
For
But
the
you know,
love,
that says it all.
for the love of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg, let me say this. I'm glad we've had you.
Yeah, I
Willow
told you the
Lake-
same thing.
Willow Lake would never have been or done.
I'm
anything
glad
as
Jerry
good
got
as-
him in Canada County.
Well,
he could have gone anywhere.
Well, I think he was destined to come here because
know it.
everybody fell in love with
well,
him.
again, this is not about me. This is really about y'all. But I've said from the beginning in an interview I did lately that I really feel it's a calling for me to be at Willow Lake. It's a calling for me to meet,
Yeah.
you, Dot, and Faye, and our friendship, and again, it goes right back to the love of the game. So, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you.
This is something that generations will be able to look at
Yeah.
when we're gone, because Willow Lake, God willing, will be here for a long time. And thank you so much again for being such a huge part in the success of our club. Thanks again.
Well, the years of time that you have put in and all you have accomplished and done out there, I would put it number one.
No, thanks.
All right.
Thank you. Well, thank you. All right. Thanks again for everything. That's all. Well, the first thing I would like to say is thank you so much for watching this video. It was just such a privilege for me to be able to sit down and talk with Faye Cardell and Dot Jones. Well, without question, the two most decorated lady golfers in the history of Willow Lake Golf Club. And I learned a few things in this interview. Number one, it's really amazing how competitive both of these women are. And it just didn't happen, and this goes way back. I mean, it goes back to Dot when she first started playing and learning to play, and also with Faye when she first started, even with basketball. But both these women are very, very competitive, and I really think playing against their husbands after work had a lot to do with their success. Because I'll tell you, Leon was a 3-time men's club champion. CB was a 2-time men's club champion. But let's face it, they're up against a 12-time women's club champion in Dot and an 18-time ladies club champion in Faye. So they had their hands full, and let's be honest, I don't really think the guys had much of a chance. So anyway, but again, I just can't tell how proud the husbands have always been of their wives with all their golf tournaments that they've won. One other thing too that I want to mention in closing is I was thinking about the women that they competed against, and really what team was really their rivalry. And Faye actually said it. She was talking about Laura Sayre and Catherine White, and I agree with Faye and Dot. That was the team that was really, really their competition for many, many years. Laura Sayre could hit the ball sometimes close to 250 yards. I mean, it was amazing. And of course, Catherine White was an incredible iron player and a very, very good putter. So in many, many of the events, they were always paired together and they played against each other. But it always seemed that Faye and Dot always would just be able to just win by that 1 or 2 shots. It was always a tight margin because both teams are really, really good. But that was really their main competition, without question. And what's really interesting about Catherine White and Mal White is they enjoyed coming at her so much to the Catherine Robinson Invitational that when Mal retired in Savannah, he was working at a school, I think it was Savannah Country Day. They actually moved to Metter, bought a farm, raised horses, and became members of the country club. So it just goes to show that even though Catherine really and Laura were such rivals against Faye and Dot, that Mel and Catherine decided to do the matter. It's really quite an interesting story. So anyway, once again, just thank you so much for viewing this incredible video. And when I say incredible, I mean, boy, what an opportunity it was to be able to sit down with Dot and Faye and reminisce about things that they did not only on the golf course, but what they did off the golf course for Willow Lake Golf Club. Without question, these two women are absolutely two pillars of our golf club. So once again, thank you so much for viewing this, and hopefully I'll have a chance to interview a few more people that are charter members and past champions, and as soon as I do that, I'll put it on the Facebook page. So thanks again very much. Take care.